to give kids a way to show they've been participating, and so that they don't think you're just forgetting about them as you're going from group to group, because you will lose some transition time and you will not have access to the 4/5 of the class if you have 5 breakout sessions, for example. So giving them multiple roles in multiple ways of showing that they've been working without having to do the speaking is going to be huge. I've been doing different essential questions for different rooms. So in my notes, like over on the side of the chat, I will say, let's see here if I can see it to everyone. Group 1 is American Dream. And then I will have, assign all of my groups off to the side. So giving them different ways that they can focus, and then we can jigsaw. Jigsaw is really helpful exercise for these. If kids can teach each other what they've been learning when they come back from their breakout rooms. Anything to keep them honest and keep them thinking and make them aware that they're going to be responsible for reporting the discussion they've been doing to other classes. Teaching other students what they were practicing there is going to be huge. Instructions in the comments is something I was going to say. Leadership rotation. Let's see here. One thing that's really handy in the breakout rooms is once you're in there, you're going to have an option to address the entire class. So you will have a button. It's when you go to your chat and when you go to your breakout rooms, that's when it will become available to you. And you can address all 6 of the rooms at one time with one question. If you want to shift everyone's observation over, that's a great idea. So let's see, there's that. Does anyone have any questions before I move over into some of the troubleshooting? Oh, yes. So if someone gets kicked off, yes, they can get back in, and yes, that does happen. And yes, they're going to lose some of that information in the meanwhile. I highly suggest pre-planning. You can do this by the week or for the whole unit. But giving someone a partner to touch base with in case anything like this happens. In my classes, we started using Slack so that people can post questions off to the side. If something happens, that will be there after Zoom has been, because they'll lose what happens in Zoom unless you report it, which you can do. But if you want something, I highly suggest a parallel way that they can communicate, and then also a partner that they can catch up with at the end of the week, at the end of the class, in case anything went well. I assign 2 partners per student, one who's a friend of theirs, and then one that I assign that may or may not be as close of a friend. That way there's some, they have a rapport going with one person, but they also have kind of a cold relationship with another who's a little more pragmatic sometimes. That would be the hope anyway. So there's that. Any other questions? That was a really good one. Can I turn off private chats? But yes, I think so. Man, do you recall that? I've not done that yet, but that's actually something I've been meaning to do.
You can in the settings that I showed you on zoom.us when I was scrolling really fast. But if you take the time to go through it, you're able to do that as well.
Yes, and actually, thank you for asking that to remind me to do that. That's something that's been on my checklist that I have not run for myself yet. So thank you for asking. Okay, let's see here. So if in the interest of time, we'll go ahead and move on to a couple troubleshooting things. When you do your breakouts, count on the fact that a couple of students, from my experience, it's at least been 1 for most of them, as many as 2. For whatever reason, it will glitch and it will not send them to their breakout room. Count on that. Be ready to catch these kids and let them know that you're anticipating that happening to somebody. All you have to do is click on their name and send them to a room. So it's very self-explanatory once you find them, but if you don't know what's coming, it can catch you off guard. So be ready to catch that. Let's see here. Take just one more. I want to make sure be ready for them to linger. Yeah, that's. What was I know I was going to say something else here, and I can't remember what the problem was right now. But the main thing that I want to stress is you want to be able to make sure that you're going to be able to touch base with and not let kids feel like they're alone if they're just being quiet in the room. So as many ways as you can to give them a way to show that they've been working. And then as well, I'd like to intersperse short breaks with long breaks. So when we're doing a reading, I'll say, okay, 90-second Zoom, 90-second breakout room, and they'll go through, and 1 or 2 kids might chat. Don't have to necessarily get to all of them every time. And then other times I'll build too much room into it. I'll give them 10 minutes for something that should take 5. I'll say, hey, if you guys get done, go get a cup of coffee, or a cup of tea is what I tell them. So you can build brain breaks into this without needing to jam pack every minute, just as long as you're doing your best to be deliberate about how the kids are spending their time. Any questions? Would you guys like to be assigned to a breakout room? Amanda, do we have time? Is this a good point for that?
We have 4 minutes. Oh, there's a question first. Maybe
Okay.
this was covered. Sorry, but I can mute all the. But can I mute all the kids and then unmute one at a time in the interface? Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
If you click again at manage, participants at the bottom, you have a running list of all the kids, and then you're able to mute or unmute. Same thing for the video. It's your call, Ryan. If you want to do breakout rooms, we have 4 minutes. Totally up to you.
Well, how about we do just a quick one, and we'll do one of those 90-second ones, just so everyone can get a feel for what the kids go through. If we have a few minutes here.
For sure, let's do it. Are you gonna automatically assign us?
That's actually what I was going to mention there. Today, for the first time, I did my deliberate assigning of students, which, you know, we all know that there's where you can have magic that happens in small groups where you didn't know kids were going to click and talk as much as and deeply as they do. And there's other times where you really want to make sure that you do pair someone with someone where they're going to get the support they need, or, you know, the grounding they're going to need, whatever it's going to be. So it did take a little bit more time. This was actually the other point I wanted to mention earlier that I forgot. It did take a little more time to assign them myself, but what I found was I only needed to pay attention to a couple pairs. So I had 20 kids on my my breakout room, but I just knew that I wanted Desiree and Stephanie to be in one room because they get along really well. So I made sure to pair them, and then I just kind of randomly click the rest. So it will take a little bit more time, but if you once you get used to it, it's a negligible extra amount of time. So today I'm going to go random because I assume all of you are good souls.
Yeah.
I know you. So we're just going to go random today. So we'll see.
All right, 90-second blitz round. Let's do it.
There we go. 90-second blitz, and you'll see a couple features that I was talking about throughout the session. Okay. Open all rooms is what you do.
The host is inviting you to join the breakout room. Yeah. Hi. You guys can unmute yourselves. Hello, we're in a room with 5 people.
Hi.
Hi, Hillary. I'm here with a coworker.
Awesome. This is wonderful. So it randomly assigned us, and you'll notice throughout these 90 seconds that Ryan can pop in to any room if he wants to.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Can you show me what's the when you go to share screen, there's a whiteboard option. What is that?
You can
literally
draw.
Yep.
Oh, I was gonna say our some of our math teachers have been using that within Zoom for drawing or putting in text. It's not as
collaborative.
Yeah, as like Jamboard, which is kind of a bummer, but it's nice if you're just gonna do a demo of some kind for some students.
So it's just like writing the same. You could share your screen and just write on a document as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what it is. Yep.
So I can't think of my question.
That's all good.
We were trying to do this with 9 and 10-year-olds, and it's not. It hasn't worked very well because without an adult in the breakout room, they have not been on task.
Yeah,
so we realize we have to do it first with an adult, and then maybe, yeah.
I do recommend that. I've done that before, especially with the 5th graders and the 4th graders, having more than one. Oh, see, look, Ryan is talking to us. This is a broadcast to all groups. Awesome. Sorry, I got distracted. But what I was saying was, yes, if you have any time to do it with adults, like maybe for a morning meeting or something, that would be super powerful. And that'll give you a chance to establish that culture in your class of what that's going to look like.
Okay.
He said, closing all rooms now. All right. Bye, guys.
Now, I don't know if Merlin is back yet, but Merlin, there is a whiteboard, and I love it. So what you would do with the, and if you guys need to jump off, Iman, should I let you do a closing, and then if anyone wants to stay on, I can show the whiteboard?
Yeah, great. Okay, so wait, it is 3:30 right now. Just folks, if you would like to access this recording, I'm going to link it in the original slide deck so that you can watch it or you can share it with anyone else. If you do want to stay on right now, you're more than welcome to. Other than that, thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for your time, everybody.
Yeah. Go for it, Ryan.
All right, so I'm going to share a screen right now. Let's see here. Hang on, why am I not seeing? My apologies here. Of course, now that I'm going for it.
Are you trying to share the whiteboard?
Yeah, I'm just not seeing it right now, and I've used it before, so I'm wondering what I'm doing wrong that I did earlier.
No
So
worries. You know what I can do is I can reclaim and I can share mine if you'd like.
why don't you go for it? Just because
All right.
it should be under share screen, right?
Sounds good. Yeah, when you click on share screen at the bottom, you should see the whiteboard feature, but here it is.
Oh, I got it. Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, was that you or me? I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I messed up the works. I just got,
That's
yeah, no,
okay.
that's Jim.
That's
There you go.
There it is. There's the whiteboard feature. As you can see, I'm writing. The one downside to it is that it is not as collaborative as someone else said as Jamboard. Like, it's not two-way. I mean, it's not like I can annotate something and then, make a mark and then another student makes a mark back. But it is nice to show basic things like math equations or science or drawing or whatever it is. If you do need a workaround with using the collaborative features, you can use something like Jamboard. Because Jamboard is something that's accessible within Google. You can open it on your phone, on an iPad, on the computer, and then I would just share my regular desktop, and I'll have my phone or my iPad or whatever, and do that. Did I address that, Ryan, properly?
No, perfectly. I really love it for grammar. It's how do you turn this simple sentence into a compound? Where's the missing second grammatical subject? And you can ask the class to tell you what to do, and you just obey exactly what they say verbatim, and then you can tinker around. So it's you can have them tell you what to do so everyone's posting it. I've used that that way a few times. I like it a lot.
Hillary says kids have been doodling on the screen that I share. Are they using the whiteboard feature to do that? I don't think they are, because they're probably using the annotating feature. I'm wondering if you have your annotations turned on. That would be something to look into under settings. But the whiteboard is only one way. I would look into that. I'm going to stop the screen share. Are there any other questions? Anyone? You're so welcome. Okay.
Where do we go for the slide deck?
Great question. So at the very, very, very top of this chat, I gave you the link to the slide deck. Also, if you follow us on Twitter at KnowingTechK12, the slide deck is available there as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, everyone. Talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks
Thank you so
time,
much,
everybody.
Ryan.
Have fun.
You're awesome. All right.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. You're
Thank
so welcome.
you.
Bye. You're welcome.